FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
All the caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. On the show where you can find help and hope. I know that's a mouthful. My husband told me my whole life I talk too much, but I don't know. I have this oral problem. So I'm so glad that you're with us today. Lynn's not with us today. Unfortunately, she has to have a little oral surgery. So please send all your positive energies her way and she'll be back next week. But I'm so glad to be here today. We have my new friend, Susan Rose, who's going to be on the show today. We're going to talk to a little bit later. So welcome. And we have Marianne Sciucco, who will be calling in a little bit. But I wanted to say to everybody, I've been on this journey recently about finding a little bit more laughter in our lives, because I sent out a survey to my caregivers and I said, what do you want? Because many times I don't want to decide what they need. I want them to tell me what they need and what they want. And they said, Linda, we're tired of caregiver burnout and caregiver guilt and Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's and incontinence and sadness. Can you please entertain us? So the spirit came out in me, and her name is Josie Jones, or Jokester Josie Jones, or Triple J. And you can go to her Facebook page or her Instagram or her TikTok or her YouTube. And have a little joke from Josie, because I think we all needed a lot to laugh about. Josie will be doing some appearances shortly. And when she does, I'll let you all know about it. The truth is, some people say to me, Linda, does Josie make up these jokes? No, most of the time, this is Josie's life. So please check out Jokester Josie Jones and have a little laugh. I also want to remind everybody to please go to my website, lindaburhans.com, and fill out the caregiver contest application. It takes you like 3 minutes to do it. You nominate a caregiver. Every single caregiver that's nominated receives a gift from me, whether it's a journal or a book or whatever it is. And then once a quarter, we just pick one name randomly, because every caregiver is a winner to us. And they receive a gift basket with gift cards and a facial and a massage and some respite care. But I can't tell you how much it means to that caregiver that they were just nominated. That somebody, because nobody asks you how you're doing, right? They're asking, how's your loved one doing, or the person you're caring for. So a shout out to the caregivers, because we know that your journey is not easy, but we want you to know that you have a team here. We have a bunch of professionals that want to work with you and that want to help you, whether it's coming to one of my support groups or conferences or live events, or if you just need a question to answer. I know a lot of answers to a lot of questions, but heck no, I don't know everything. But I promise you, if you ask me a question, whether you phone me or go through my website, lindaburhans.com, I will find an answer for you. Because I'm so very blessed to be part of this Tampa Bay community, where we have a lot of professionals that really want to make a difference and that work together. Because it's funny, sometimes I will go speak in other states and I'll go to, there'll be vendors there and they're like, don't talk to that girl. But as my one friend says, there's plenty of juice in the orange for all of us. There's plenty of business. And when we work together, it's easiest, because not one person, not one company, not one anything can cover everything on their own. So Marianne hasn't called in yet. Nope, not yet. Okay, so Susan and I are going to talk a little bit. So Susan, how long ago did we meet? Like a month or so ago? From YouTube or Facebook? What was it from?
Facebook. I did the conference, and then I reached out when the book came out.
Okay.
Just been kind of back and forth on Facebook and things like that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Indiana. Grew up doing dance and gymnastics, ended up teaching PE and coaching, and when I moved down here, I did some massage.
When did you move down here?
therapy. We moved down here in 2011
Okay.
when my husband was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Okay.
And he already had his daughter, and our first grandchild was already down here in the area. And so we moved down from Indiana then.
You want to be close to your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want me to go on about with him?
Whatever you want.
He has Parkinson's, and at first,
My brother has Parkinson's.
it's very gradual. So at first he was okay. We had a house on Lake Tarpon. We had a boat. We were doing all this. And then, a couple years later, I'm noticing, boy, we can't clean out the gutters. We can't, and I was doing more and more around the house. And so I thought, we need a condo. So in 2015, we bought a condo. We moved up to Tarpon Springs. Love it up there. But that's kind of when I really started to see his mobility go downhill. He started needing a walker, a cane first, then a walker.
Right. How old is he?
He's 74 now. I'm 67.
Okay.
So second marriage for both of us. But the dementia wasn't bad then, but he was starting to have hallucinations. And he would see people in the house, and in the middle of the night, he would think people were building walls. I mean, it was all kinds of
And you don't know how to
crazy.
respond to that if you don't know. You don't know.
Because you're like, no, it's just you and me. And you can't talk him out of it.
No.
You just can't.
Well, it's like trying to talk a kid out of a bad dream.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to cut you off. We're going to come back to this because Marianne.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you're with us today. So
Me too.
That voice is Marianne Sciucco, and she's an author, a writer. She's part of Alzheimer's Author. What is your position in Alzheimer's Authors?
Well, it's called All Authors. All is short for Alzheimer's, and I am one of the founders, and I'm also a manager. I'm on the board of directors. I'm the podcast host and producer, and many, many other things.
You're like me, a busy gal.
Very busy, yeah.
And when I was looking over the website this morning too, a lot of the authors have been on the show.
Right.
Because we have such good information to be out there. In fact, my book could never be considered because I didn't realize my mother had dementia until after she passed away.
Oh.
Because my mom had stage 4 colon cancer.
Yeah.
So that was what we dwelled on. And my mom was very goofy like I am. So, and then she started doing that chemo. So so it wasn't until after my mother passed away and I started reflecting and started reading my journals and started going back that I realized, yes, she had dementia.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Sorry for that. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay. We had a fabulous journey. And I'll tell you. So the doctors wanted to do chemo. My sisters and I didn't think it was a good idea, but my mother wanted to try it. It's her body. And we did 2 rounds of chemo, but my mother was out like a light. And we said, we're not going to do this anymore. Well, when we stopped doing it, my mother told everyone she was cured.
Oh.
So I don't know if she thought she was cured. She wanted to be cured, or she wanted everybody to think she was. I think she thought she was.
Yeah.
But you know what you put in your head? We had 18 months of fabulous time. So, it all depends on how you approach it.
That's right.
Yep. So what made you start Al's Authors?
Well, it wasn't a altruistic mission at the start. I had written a book about Alzheimer's. It's a novel. It's called Blue Hydrangeas and Alzheimer's Love Story.
I love that.
And I published it. Thank you. I published it in 2013. And, I didn't know what I was doing. I was an independent author. And
I get it.
I didn't know the first thing about how to promote this book, how to find my audience or anything. So I was sort of bumbling along. And I belonged to a different author group that helped each other by sharing social media posts and blog posts and newsletters and things like that. So one day it just dawned on me, gee, I wonder if other people who have written books about Alzheimer's and dementia, maybe they would like to do the same and we can help each other out.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a few people that I knew and put together this promotion, a 1-month promotion back in 2015, just to help promote each other's books. And to make it the long story short, we three of us really hit it off and became good friends, and we
Mhm.
decided to keep it going. But a year later, we decided we would share the wealth, and we would invite other authors
Yeah.
to post their books with us, and we started the blog, allsauthors.com. So now we're up to almost 400 authors. We have over 400 resources on our website,
Yeah.
which includes books, blogs, podcasts, films, lots of other useful things for caregivers
Yeah.
who are looking for answers, or people who are looking for stories, people who are wondering, how am I going to get through this?
Right.
How did somebody else do it? And everything is categorized. So you can find what you're looking for, whether you're caring for your husband, your wife, your father, your mother, your grandparent,
Yeah.
whether they have Lewy body, Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, it's all broken down according to type, the situation. We have children's books. We have poetry, art books.
Well, it's very
we
funny.
have a lot.
One of my caregivers went to look at your site. This was probably like a month ago, and she's a brand new caregiver. She's a brand new caregiver, and she said to me, "I didn't know there was more than one kind of dementia," and she learned that from your website.
Oh, that's
So
great.
touche.
She taught her something.
Yeah, because you know what? When I started doing this 15 years ago, nobody was talking about it really. Nobody was talking about. I couldn't even help my caregivers because I'm not a caregiver. I'm the faithful spouse. I'm the good daughter. I'm the whatever.
Right.
But to see where you've come in the past 10 years and the information that you can give to help caregivers just blows me away.
Yeah, it's true, because I started writing my book in the early 2000s, and there was very little out there that I could even use as like a resource for writing the book. I did write the book from personal experience as a nurse, caring for people and guiding families on a dementia journey and through caregiving. So that was where my knowledge base came from. But I remember, looking for other people's stories and coming up with nothing, basically. 2 or 3 things that I think that actually resonated with me. But now there's like hundreds and hundreds of books.
Yeah.
And we vet them all. All the books go through a very robust vetting process.
Which is important.
We read every book. We don't just slap our name on someone's book because they asked us to. There's a rigorous process. And we accept about 60% of the book, so people can be assured that they are quality.
Well, it's
all
funny. I was just saying to Susan at the beginning of the show today, I have a lot of authors on the show, but nobody's going to come on here unless I've read their book.
Well, right.
Because personally, with my books, I have been on interviews on other shows, and I think they just read the back cover.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I want to read the book, first of all, because I'm interested, and I'm interested in the author, but I want to know what's in there, if I really feel it's good for my caregivers. Because one time somebody sent me a book, and it was like angry.
Yeah.
The whole book was angry. And I'm like,
Yeah, we've seen that, and that's a big no. And sometimes, we specify that the books must be about Alzheimer's and dementia. It must be like from the start a driving part of the story. And a lot of books come to us, and it's like at the end, there's like the last chapter is about that. So that's not what our readers are looking for. They're looking for something they can sink their teeth into.
Yeah. And it's nice because they're looking, when they go to your website and when they look at everything, you kind of feel like you have a relationship with the author.
Yeah.
Because everything, I'm not saying everything, but probably most things are written from experience. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. And when you can read a book and you can feel someone else going through the same thing you're going through, or that, or maybe anticipating, that can make a big difference.
Right. Yes, for sure.
So tell us about
sometimes just to know you're not alone.
Exactly.
To know that you're not out there alone. So many people feel like nobody understands them and they're all by themselves.
Because you know what? A lot of times people become caregivers for whatever reason, and all of a sudden your friends go away.
Exactly.
And your neighbors go away. Well, I think part of that is because they don't have an education either.
Right.
And I think that's part of my mission, is to educate people. I on the back of my business card, it says the person I'm with has Alzheimer's and dementia, may not understand, clearly what you're saying. Please be patient. And a woman came to my support group one time, and I give them out. She called me a couple of days later and she said, "Can I have 14 more?" And I was like, "Sure, you could have 15 more if you want." And I just left them in an envelope by my house. And when she came to the next support group, she said, "Those cards saved my life." And I said, "What?" And she said, "I live in a mobile home park and my husband's starting to go in people's backyards. And when he walks the dog, he's not always cleaning up the poo. And everyone's giving him dirty looks." So she went around and she gave one card to every neighbor. And the neighbor said, "He can come in our yard. We'll clean up the poo. Maybe he would like some lemonade."
That's sweet.
So now you have a whole community of people there on your side.
Exactly. Now they understand.
But we have to teach them to understand. Or I don't know what the right words are.
Educate.
Yeah.
Educate. Yeah. Yeah. So what's this upcoming film festival about?
Oh, well, I'm really excited about this. It's something I've been thinking about doing for quite a while. But this year is our 10th anniversary, so we wanted to do something special.
Okay.
So it's the year for the film festival. Many of the authors in our organization have created films told from their own personal dementia journeys. And we have selected 5 of them to present over the next few months. It starts in September. And there are 5 films. We have Mary Crescenzo's film Planet A. We have Susie Singer Carter's new docuseries, No Country for Old People. We have Frank Silverstein's short film Lousy, Love in the Time of Dementia. And we have Kitty Norton's documentary, Wine, Women in Dementia. And the last is by C. Nathan Brown, which is called The Present. And that's our Christmas movie. It's a story about a family dealing with the loss of their mother to Alzheimer's at Christmas holiday.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, how that went about. But the films are all different from each other. Some of them are very short, 15, 20 minutes. Some of them are over an hour. And the way we work it is we make it easy on the caregivers. When you sign up to go on to the film festival,
right,
you will receive a link to the films, and then you watch them at your own convenience. So we don't gather at a time to watch a movie.
Right.
People can do it when it's convenient for them. And then we're going to have a Meet the Filmmaker live virtual event for each one of these filmmakers between September and December.
Perfect.
People can come to that, and then they have the opportunity to be a part of the discussion and to learn more.
Oh, I love it.
We've done that. Yeah, we've done it in the past that way, and it works really well. And it'll all be recorded, and it'll all be put on our website, on our YouTube and podcast channel. So if people miss something, they can always catch up later.
That totally excites me. I can't tell you. So just keep in touch with me and let me know everything, and I'll keep sharing it with my listeners.
I will. We got a blog post and a podcast on it coming out next week on Tuesday night. So people can log on to allsauthors.com. Tuesday night after Tuesday night, and they'll find the information. Will be on our homepage, and they'll be able to get the link and they can sign up.
Fabulous. All right, so talk to me more. You've written a bunch of books. Why did you pick Alzheimer's?
Oh boy. Well, I had a special spot in my heart for that. I had an aunt that has Alzheimer's back in 1980s. I didn't know anything about it. I was a young woman.
Right.
When I decided to become a nurse, I took a job in a nursing home, and I ended up getting sent one night to the dementia unit, which everybody told me would be a nightmare, and I'd have a night from hell. And I went up there, and I was so frightened. I didn't know what to expect. And by the time I left, I was in love, and I said, I'll work here any day. Yeah, I'll come here anytime. Put me there. So they did. I ended up working there. That was my spot. But I just liked working there. And the people with dementia were they were fun. And, one thing people don't always realize is that they're not demanding.
No.
I mean, you have to do a lot for them, but they're not demanding like a lot of other patients.
Yeah.
Who do not have Alzheimer's and have a lot of wants and needs, and they can vocalize.
Yeah.
So that can be stressful. So anyway, I started on with that, and I ended up going to nursing school and worked medical surgical. I did a lot of, you pretty much in any kind of nursing field, maybe unless you're working in the mother-baby unit, you're going to encounter people with dementia.
Yeah.
At least once a day. It's not really
especially now.
something you can't escape. So I ended up being a case manager, and that's when I really got my footing in like learning and understanding the whole caregiver journey and what people, have to go through, and trying to access resources in your community.
Right.
And I knew a lot about that. I learned a lot about that. So I ended up meeting a couple in my work that really inspired the characters Jack and Sarah in my novel. She was a lovely woman, age 86. She had Alzheimer's. Her husband was even older, and he was very frail. He was, mentally intact for the most part, but he had a lot of physical problems. And the thing that really intrigued me about the two of them is they had, we live in New York, and they were snowbirds. They went down to Florida in the winter and came back. And somehow they managed to drive themselves all the way back from Florida to New York.
Wow.
Unscathed, successfully until they got home, and then she fell. She broke her pelvis, so she ended up in my rehab unit. And I wasn't supposed to speak with them. The day I met them, I was covering for somebody else, and she told me that these people are all set. She's leaving the next day, and you don't need to get involved. But as I made my rounds, I peeked in the room, and I saw her. She was beautiful. She just, smiled at me from the door, in the doorway.
Right away.
So I popped in. Yeah, I pop in, I meet them. Their son was there, and he said to me, tomorrow I'm going to come and I'm going to pick up my parents and take them to the place myself. She was going to another facility for more rehab. He said, is that okay? I said, absolutely, that's not a problem. And left it at that. And then for the rest of the day, I couldn't stop thinking about that family and that couple. And I just said to myself, gee, I wonder what would happen if for some reason tomorrow the son didn't show up and the people here, the nursing staff or whoever, the discharge planner, sent them on their way without their son. What would happen? Where would they go? What would they do? And so that became the foundation of my story.
Wow.
So that's kind of the spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The two of them go off on a journey. Yeah, the son's car breaks down. He doesn't get there in time. She's in the hospital. She has to go to an assisted living facility. And the husband is the one who takes her. Yeah. So they end up going on a little bit of a journey because he's not quite ready to part with her yet.
I just love it. So what's the last thing you want our caregivers to hear today from you?
Well, I want people to know that they're not alone. I said that before.
Yep.
There are millions of caregivers out there. There are probably people in your community. If you haven't met anyone yet, you're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And most people I've learned, especially over the years and more, is most people I talk to when I mention Alzheimer's or dementia, they have a connection. Yeah. Yeah. And they will tell me, oh, yes, my grandmother had that. My mother had that. I'm caring for my father now. And it's just really, it's like an epidemic.
Well, I have to tell you.
You're not alone.
No, you are not alone. Recently in one of my support groups, 2 new people came in. And as we're chatting in the group, they live down the block from each other. And neither of them knew that they were, neither of them knew the other one was taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's.
Right. That's
so
right.
Talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your church, talk to everybody.
Don't be embarrassed about it. It's not, it's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing in the sense that, there's a lot of stigma attached to these diagnoses. Yeah. It's not a human failing.
Nope.
It's not a character defect. It's none of those things. It's the disease. People get it.
Let's do the best we can.
People have been dealing with this for a long time. People have solutions. People can help you. People have been there. They've done that. They can offer you guidance. They can offer you support. They can give you tips.
Yep.
If you say, my mother, she's pacing all the time. We can't get her to sit down. Somebody, I might have a solution for that.
Exactly.
And you just need to keep asking questions.
Thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate
you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. And now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 So locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? You know, getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our office has helped families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we are back. That was just lovely chatting with Marianne and all those exciting things that are going on. But now we're going to further our conversation with Susan. Susan had started chatting with us a little bit earlier. So Susan, can you just give us a brief background and let's get on with it?
He was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2011.
Your
and we
husband.
moved down to Florida. My husband, he's a Vietnam vet. So we were considered 100% disabled with the VA, which gave us
Thank God
lots
for the
of
VA.
benefits.
Yeah.
Lots of benefits.
Yeah.
And I took advantage of everything that we could. But with Parkinson's, it's just a very slow downhill. And then sometimes it goes downhill quick and stabilizes. And so it's kind of like this downhill roller coaster you're going on. So his mobility got worse.
And you downsized from a house to a condo.
We went from a house to a condo. So that helped. Redid the bathroom, put the rails up everywhere. We had a triangle over his bed. I mean, we had all the toys. I always said we got all the toys. He had hallucination. When he started with the hallucinations is when it got really tough, because he would see people in the house and I would just say, well, you can tell him to go home because I'm not feeding him dinner, and just try to make light of it. But, I think it was scary for him. And when they're in that state, you can't talk them out of it. They're seeing it, and it's very
I have
real.
a friend and her husband would tell her in the middle of the night, the Indians are coming, and they would just throw pillows. And it worked. It calmed him down. Like, we're going to get them. We're going to get them. And they would just throw pillows.
He had this time when he went through thinking something about vampires.
Oh,
Like there
wow.
were vampires in the house, and they had bitten me.
Oh,
And now I was going to be a vampire. I mean,
my God.
That's when I got a little scared, but it sort of passed. you know, it
Yeah.
he didn't dwell on that for long, but I mean, it was always something, just people in the house, people outside all the time. So we had health aides that came in, and it started maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then by the end of it, I had them 5 days a week, like from 8 in the morning to noon. So they would come in and help him get in the shower. We had like the slide chair and everything.
Yeah.
But repeatedly, he had a feeding tube because he had swallowing. Parkinson's really affects your swallowing. And he'd have a feeding tube and it would get clogged, or he'd pull it out. He would like, so he was in and out of the hospital. And every time you go to the hospital, then you've got to go to rehab.
Right.
You know, and I had him at, we'd finally placed him in long-term care at this facility in Oldsmar. And this was last fall, and the hurricanes were coming. So the first hurricane, they didn't evacuate and it didn't flood or anything. But then when the second one, what was that?
Oh, no.
Helene and Milton, when Milton was coming, for some reason, they said, we've got to evacuate the facility. So they loaded the entire nursing home up on 2 Turner buses, people that could be in a wheelchair and get lifted up. And some people went by ambulance. They sent us all the way over to the other side of the state.
Oh my God.
But they sent us to Fort Pierce, where the tornadoes hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So imagine 100 people from a nursing home moving in with another nursing home that's already full. It was
Nightmare.
It was a nightmare. And I drove over because I thought, he's not going by himself.
Yeah. I need to see what's going on.
I'm going. So I got a room and I drove over that day. When I got there, oh my God, they had 3 people to a room. They had to like clear out rooms. So they had 3 beds in a room. They had taken the rec room and the dining room, cleared that out, and had mattresses on the floor.
Oh.
It was horrendous. Anyway, so the tornadoes hit on Wednesday, and you know, the place over here floods. So now we can't go back where we came from.
Right.
So by Friday, they're saying, well, we're going to be here a couple more weeks, and then we're going to farm everybody out in different directions.
Oh
I said,
God.
oh, no, we're not.
Yeah.
So I took him back home.
I would have done the same
I had
thing.
a van. He's got a power chair. I got the van and the ramp. And I go to the nurses and I say, is he better off going home? They said, yes. Here's your meds. Go home.
Yeah.
And so I took him home. I said, we're home.
Because then he has you 24/7.
Yeah.
At that time, he has nobody, hardly.
You're exactly right. And he's still on a feeding tube.
Yeah.
And I had done it before, you know, so I knew how to do it. But the problem was I had gotten rid of all the equipment.
Oh.
So I take him home and we don't have the IV pole
Right.
and all. That's one of the things in the book. But I have him home October, November, December, and then he gets a UTI, goes back in the hospital. So January of this year, I finally said, I can't do it, because he was getting where I couldn't transfer.
Yeah.
He was so weak, I could not move him.
You could hurt
So,
him.
I could hurt him, I could hurt me.
Yeah.
But so January, he went back into long-term care, and he's still in long-term care.
So what made you decide to write the book, though? Tell us about the book.
The book, actually, I wrote the book a couple years ago before it got really, really intense. I was at a
So her book is You Might Be a Caregiver If. So if you can see this on the camera.
It's a little picture book, just to kind of make caregivers smile and, you know, have some universal experiences and know that you're not alone.
I like this one. You might be a caregiver if one more person tells you that you need to practice self-care, you're going to scream.
Yeah, because everybody, oh, you got to take care of yourself. Like, yeah, I'll put that on the list.
Recently, a minister friend of mine got cancer. And everybody was like, oh, you're so brave. She goes, if one more person tells me I'm brave, I'm going to knock them out.
Yeah. Like, do I have a choice?
Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
Exactly.
And that's how it is with caring for a spouse. It's like, I mean, I suppose you do have a choice, but, you know.
Well,
you know.
What?
I was sitting with a group of girls venting. I was having a really bad day, and they were like, well, you know, tell us what's going on. And I just vented all this stuff. And one of them said, well, you should write a book about that. And I was like, oh, yeah, nobody wants to hear all that.
They do, though.
And then
because they want to know they're not the only one.
Yeah. A couple days later, I'm sitting in a doctor's office for my own appointment this time. And this just pops into my head. So I had a notebook with me, and I just start writing all these statements. And then a friend of mine did the illustrations.
I love
She
them.
just brought everything
To life,
She
yeah.
really did. She did a great job with
Yeah.
it. Her name's Margaret Mepp Schulte.
Yeah, you might be a caregiver if you feel like no one understands or wants to hear what you're going through, because nobody really does.
No, they really don't. I mean, they say they do, but they really don't. But
yeah.
So it's basically kind of our personal journey. I didn't get into the dementia. I wanted it to be
Light.
funny, poignant, light, make somebody smile.
And for all caregivers.
Yeah. And it's really just like a big greeting card that you would give to a caregiver.
Oh, that's a good way
to make them smile. Yeah. So
how has the response been to the book?
Oh, it's been really good. It's on
Jennifer
Amazon.
Highness, I love her.
Yeah.
And Darcy, I love Darcy.
Do you know?
too.
Yeah. So I've got some of my caregiver friends. I did Darcy's program, which was really good, really helpful. And Jennifer and I are both yoga people. So
let's talk about yoga a little bit. So what do you do with yoga?
Well, I have taught chair yoga. I've taught all kinds of yoga, a lot of kids too, but most recently, I've taught chair yoga. And there's something that we add called chair yoga dance.
Okay.
So you're doing chair yoga, but maybe you put a song on at the end and there's big movements, because Parkinson's needs like big movements.
Right.
And so you might do a song or two that have some movements with it. And you know how music is so good for people with dementia. So if you can,
good for everybody.
It is, absolutely. Find some older songs that maybe they recognize. I used to do one that was Catch a Falling Star and Put It in Your Pocket. I would do that at an assisted living facility.
But that's good because you can do the movements.
Yeah, it's like catch a falling star, put it in your pocket, never let it fade away.
Yeah.
And they know that song, and it's kind of a sweet song. So
it is a sweet song.
I take things like that. We would do It's a Wonderful World. That's one of my favorite songs. So, so I was doing that in an assisted living program, and some of them were in wheelchairs, some of them had walkers, so that was all
Are you still doing that?
I am not. That stopped during COVID, so I'm looking to start something like that again, possibly in that memory cafe situation.
Yes, let's talk about that too.
Well, a memory cafe is a social event
Platform,
or a place where the caregiver and their person with dementia go. So it's not a daycare drop-off.
Right.
It's a shared experience.
It's not a support group.
It's not a support group. It's something fun to go do with your mom, your husband, your dad, whoever it is you're caring with. Because, with caregiving, it becomes, I got to clean you up. I got to feed you. I got to give you your meds. And this is like, let's go have some fun together. So it could be an hour and a half of just recreation. Maybe you got some cookies, maybe there's some crafts, maybe there's somebody playing some music, or somebody like me doing some yoga with you. So I'm looking to get one started, and I'm trying to make some connections.
I will talk more about that because I think there are some opportunities, and I think it's a wonderful thing, because to have them doing movements that they don't really realize they're even doing movements, because some people are stubborn.
Yeah.
Even though whatever they have, they really don't want to exercise.
Right.
Or they don't really. So if you can make it fun.
If you make it fun, there's some music. And maybe, maybe their movement looks like this. They're not going to be
still moving.
They're still moving. They're moving their joints.
I go to Curves, the old ladies gym, 3 mornings a week. And there's a woman that comes in there and she's over 90 and she doesn't move that much, but she moves.
But she moves.
And she's social. And she came.
Yes. There you go.
So, we have 3 things there that,
And the social is really important.
Yeah. And she got up. There's a lot of people at 90 years old aren't going to leave the house.
Absolutely.
They're just going to sit in the chair, and then they wonder why they can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what is MacGyver?
MacGyver?
Yeah.
Well, there used to be some TV show,
MacGyver. Okay.
Yeah, where he would
just
rig
figure
things.
it out. Yeah.
So that's the statement about the IV pole, because when I brought him home from the evacuation, he still had the feeding tube. And what you do is you hang IV bags.
Right.
But I had gotten rid of the pole.
Right.
So I had a floor lamp. So I had this floor lamp, and we hung the IV poles on the floor lamp. And it worked out really good till the middle of the night one time, and he decided to get up and go to the bathroom, and he pulls the whole thing over, and it had a glass
top
chandelier. Yeah, I should have thought that through a little bit better, but it worked out pretty good for a long time. And then he broke it in the middle of the night. But as a caregiver, you learn to make do.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Yeah.
So,
And everybody
Yeah.
goes through different experiences, and it's okay. And we all got to laugh, and we all make mistakes.
yeah.
We all make mistakes. Oh, I tried this. I figured out that wasn't
So
such
if you
a
do
good
that,
idea.
get one that doesn't have a glass shade on.
Yeah, or duct tape it to the floor or
Yeah.
something like that. One or the other.
Yeah.
One or the other. So, what do you want our caregivers to hear? What do you want our caregivers to know?
They're not alone.
Because you're in the experience.
There's so many. Recently, I heard it's like 20% of people are caring
Yeah.
for someone.
Yeah,
and
and not more.
If not more.
There's a lot
like,
they're not telling us.
that's the ones you can count, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So you might be at the beginning of your journey. You might not even think of yourself as a caregiver. Or you may be, you know, towards the end of the journey like I am.
But you're still a caregiver. And even though your
Yeah.
loved one is in the community 24/7, you're still a caregiver 24/7.
I was there this morning.
Right. Because no one
Yeah.
knows your loved one like you
Right.
do. No one is ever going to care about your loved one as much as you do.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you as a caregiver, what would you like to see from your friends or your family or whatever? What do you see that's missing?
Oh,
Be honest about it.
understanding.
Yeah.
Just understanding. And, you know, it's kind of like if you're not in it, you don't get it.
No.
But, you know, there were times when I would vent or something and it's like, well, why don't you just put him in a facility?
Put them in.
I'm not ready. I was not
Right.
ready. I mean, I had to get to the
It's a
point
big
where
decision.
it is. I had to get to the point where I have done absolutely everything I can and I
Yep.
physically cannot transfer him
Right.
anymore.
Or it's not. This
Yeah.
is what I tell caregivers. When is the time? When is the time? They ask me. I said, number one, when it's not safe anymore.
Yes.
And number two, when you're ready to jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, it's the two of them. And I also find, though, that many times when a person decides that it's time for their loved one to move into a community, it's much worse for you than for them.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they say, oh, I promised him I never would do that. Da, 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 da. But he gets there and he meets some friends and there's other people there and there's people there for him 24/7. And then you as the caregiver go home and you're all alone.
Yeah.
There's a big adjustment there.
It is. It is. The good thing about when I got him placed was I felt like a wife again.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I don't want to be a
doing-
nurse.
I wasn't doing the daily care.
Yep.
I wasn't worried about the meds. I could go in and be sweet and loving and love on him and bring him
Well,
ice
and
cream.
many times they're more acceptable of those people helping them than they are you at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they get into that routine. Now it's bathing
Yeah,
time. Now
yeah.
it's this, where sometimes you're at home and it's like 2 days and you can't get them to bathe.
Well, he loved it. That's the cover because he loved his showers.
So that's him.
That's him. Yeah. He would get in that shower for 30 minutes and just be having a ball. And
So
I'm
you
out
had a
there.
good point there, though.
I'm going. I haven't had one in 3 days, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Because every time I'd get in the shower, he'd holler for me.
Exactly.
It's like, can I have 10 minutes in the shower? He'd
Yeah.
holler, but yeah. So that's.
But
that
that's good.
became the
because some,
cover of
you know,
the
some
book.
people don't shower.
Yeah, I know. He loved it. He loved it.
Thank goodness.
But it got hard to even. I had to stay in the bathroom after a while because of fall risk.
Yeah.
And we had the pull down thing. And
Yeah,
all
but
that.
still.
Yeah.
Anybody can fall that doesn't have an issue.
That's true.
You know,
So
add
yeah, I
somebody
was
that has
usually
an
very
issue.
close by.
Yeah, you need to be.
Yeah.
So
But,
where do you see your journey from here? I mean, you must go home and feel lonely that he's not there.
I do, but I've adjusted. I've sort of structured my life around going up there at lunch or close to lunch so that I can help feed him because he can't feed himself now.
Okay.
So, you know, I just I did that when he was home. I had my yoga in the morning when the caregivers were there. You know, if I needed to go out at night, I had another caregiver that came over. But going forward, I'm just really looking to get involved with caregivers and the dementia community.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the memory cafes, I'd like to create a one-day yoga retreat, or not just yoga, but a retreat for caregivers where they could come like from 9 to 4 somewhere and have a wonderful.
Let's talk about that. I know years ago I
Yeah.
did this day. It was like a half a day, and it was called
Yeah.
The Art of Caregiving.
Mm.
So the first part we did just dance to music, move around if
Yep.
you wanted to, you know,
Mhm.
whatever. And then the second part was some kind of a craft or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was like a nice little lunch, and then I ended it in journaling. But
Yeah.
it could be anything like that. They give them
Something
the
like
break
that.
and they can do as much as they want or as little as they want.
Right. Just to have a day just for them.
Yeah. because I see my caregivers, so they come to my support groups and they're dying to talk to the other woman, not about dementia.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Yeah.
And so what I've started doing, this will be the 3rd month, is every 6 weeks we have a caregiver luncheon.
Oh.
And everybody just gets together, and we're not talking
Yeah.
about all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
the deal. We're not talking about that
Yeah.
stuff.
Don't ask me about that.
So, I think the last meeting, no one shut up for a minute. It was just good to be with other people that are in the same boat, but we don't have to talk about
They
it.
get it, they understand, and you don't have to explain.
Yeah, you don't have to explain.
Like, I gotta be home by 3 o'clock when my caregiver leaves.
So where can our caregivers find you?
You can find the book on Amazon. Just You Might Be a Caregiver If. You can find me at www.susanrosebooks. I've got some yoga and guided meditations on there that you can access for free. And on Facebook, Susan Rose Author.
Fabulous. It was a pleasure having you on
so
the
much,
show
Linda.
today.
It's
You're
been
welcome.
great.
Now it's time to hear from our wonderful sponsors, so don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
We believe the power of the human body and mind can do amazing things, and that tapping into that power, not just tricking it with a temporary disguise, is possible. Superpatch technology uses a special pattern and vibrotactile technology to help you go from feeling blah to hurrah. Now, once the Superpatch is in contact with your skin, it triggers a neutral response in the brainstem that helps you tackle your daily problems head on. Whether you're struggling with pain, balance, stress, or focus, we have a solution that might be right for you. With Superpatch's 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. I started using the Liberty Patch over 3 years ago. I used to be a tripper, but since wearing the Liberty Patch, I haven't tripped once. The Liberty Patch is proven to reduce the risk of falling by up to 8 times. And as we all know, if you prevent the fall, you prevent the call. Don't wait until it's too late. Preventative solutions are the answer.
Superpatch does not claim to diagnose, treat, or cure illness. Superpatch is FDA registered. To receive 25% off your first order, go to sticktoit.info. That's sticktoit.info and learn more.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. And as now, when we were just talking about Parkinson's, there are Parkinson's programs at the Palms of Largo. There's Rock Steady Boxing. There's an educational support group. There's a stretch and exercise class. It's so important for people with Parkinson's to move. So please take advantage of that. You can call up Leah at 727-385-9881. Just go check it out. Try one. See what it's like. Also, my friend Brenda, who's a Reiki master, has a bunch of Reiki share and sound bath experience. So there are a whole bunch. There's one at Blissful Marine Beginnings in Pinellas Park, the first Monday of each month. The second Thursday at Sacred Lands in St. Pete. The third Tuesday at the Peacock Center in Seminole Garden Apartments. And the fourth Sunday of each month, starting August 24th at the Book Rescue. I want to go to that place. It's supposed to be really interesting. So if you're interested in any of this, you can contact Brenda for more information at 727-259-5240 or Brenda Reiki Healing at gmail.com. Or the website is Reiki Healing by Brenda.com. So I tell you, I tried Reiki a while ago after my husband had passed away. It was the first time, and I really found it very helpful. And I go every now and then when I have a chance. It's all just by love offering. Go and check it out. I think it could make a difference for you. Tune in next week for another wonderful show. As always, I love to have you here. Remember, if you need anything, you can contact me through my website, lindaburhans.com. Remember, God loves you, and have a delicious day.